Hello and welcome back to another YouTube. So if you're a busy woman that wants to drop some body fat for fat loss, this is going to be your blueprint to get you ready for summer over the next 6 to 8 weeks, okay? If I was super busy right now and I still wanted to feel better, feel more confident, these are the exact things that I would do to get myself to that position, okay? And I understand when you're busy, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by everything that you have to do that you feel like you can't commit to these particular things, okay? And you can't put yourself first and your health and fitness journey first, and you don't have to. Your health and fitness journey should never be the number one priority in your life. You know, there's so many things that come before that: family, career, your personal development. All of these things will always be so much important. However, it shouldn't be neglected, because it's one of those things that once your health improves, once your fitness improves, once your confidence improves with that, it will actually positively impact all of the surrounding areas. You will get better at your job because you're going to show up as a more confident person. You know, you will glow different. You will become a better person to be around, whether that's for your family, your friends, your partners, your husbands, whatever the case might be, because you're going to be in better mood. Your energy is going to be better. Your readiness and your willingness to get up and go will completely change. So your health and fitness should definitely be a priority. And of course, going into summer, we all want to feel more confident, right? And we want to go on that holiday and feel confident, not covering up, not hiding ourselves and doing none of those things. But obviously when we're busy, it can feel quite overwhelming and quite frustrating as well. So this is what we're going to break down today: the fat loss formula blueprint for you busy women that feel like they don't have time for themselves, because we can definitely make something work. Yes, all of your time and commitment won't be able to go into this, but we're trying to step away from that all or nothing mindset, okay? You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to do it all perfectly in order to see results. You just have to start, and you have to start showing up consistently. And trust me, I get it, because I've been there, okay? I've been overwhelmed by the busyness. I've grew my business throughout my health and fitness journey, and it was a massive part of obviously my business as well. But there was times it was overwhelming. There was times that I felt like I had no time for myself. There was times that I had to say no to social plans in order to show up for my business, because that was the priority at the time for me. But I still got in the best shape of my life. When my business was at its busiest, as an example, I was on prep, which required me to be in the gym for nearly 3-4 hours a day to meal prep every single meal that I was having, and I still managed to fit it all in because I approached it with a completely different mindset compared to maybe when I would have done at other times when I felt I was busy. Okay, so the two definitely do work in hand, and the more you show up for yourself, the more you will benefit in those other areas as well. So the first thing that I would do if I wanted to lose weight for summer is actually calculate my calorie deficit, okay? Don't guess, don't set yourself on random calories. Set yourself in a 200 to 300 calorie deficit from your maintenance. So you need to calculate your maintenance. Once you have your maintenance calculated, from there you can calculate your calorie deficit, okay? You don't have to be super restrictive with it. You don't have to cut all of these things out. You don't have to eat super healthy in order to see those results. You just need to understand your numbers and make sure they're in the right position. And if you don't know how to do that, you can message me on Instagram, send me the word calculator, or just message me and ask for my calculator guide, and I will do the calculations for you, and I will help you discover that side of things. But that's the first thing you need to do, and make sure that you're in that deficit. So how do we make sure that we track our calories? Okay, there's no other way of knowing you're going to be in that deficit unless you get strategic with it. And when it comes to tracking your calories, you want to track for the next day. So you want to put in exactly what you're going to eat on MyFitnessPal for tomorrow: your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, and everything else in between. You want to have all of that laid out, because this allows you to make sure that, one, you know what you're going to eat going into the next day, and two, you will still make sure that you're within your calories and macros, still being able to incorporate all your favorite treats and everything in there as well. But planning works wonders, okay? If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And that is so true, okay? You want to go into every day knowing exactly what needs to be accomplished. It takes the overwhelm, it takes the overthinking out of it, okay? Whereas if you're constantly going from one meal into another, thinking how do you have to eat to make sure you're within your calories, and you still have to hit your protein and everything else in that situation, you will just end up overthinking it, overcomplicating it, not hitting your targets, and feeling like a failure. Whereas if you plan in advance and you prepare, you take away that overwhelm, and you take away the chances of you essentially going off track, because you know exactly what you need to accomplish that particular day. The second thing that I would do is prioritize my step count. And this doesn't have to mean 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps is not a magical number. It has to mean moving a little bit more than you're moving now. I done a post recently and where I explained the number one secret to fat loss, and I literally said it was walking. So many people underestimate walking, and they just feel like it's too easy in order to see weight loss. But the truth is, it's it's not that it's too easy, but the truth is it's not too easy. It does exactly what it needs to do. It increases your NEAT and your daily activity, which means your calorie expenditure for that day is higher, which creates a deficit for you a lot easier. So at the minute, if you're in an office-based job 9 to 5, okay, your time's limited. You maybe have kids to come home to in the evening. You don't have all that time for yourself, right? So rather than aiming for 10,000 steps, maybe for you, you need to start doing 5K if you're only doing 3K at the minute. That 2,000 is going to add up to 14,000 over the period of the week, which means you have already done a good couple of hours extra activity compared to what you usually would do, which is going to result in fat loss as well. And like I said, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. You just have to do that little bit more than you were doing previously, and you build that up over time. And if you consistently do that for the next 8 weeks, you will see results. The third thing that I would do is manage my time better. Okay, become a pro at time management. This is going to be your best friend, especially when you're busy. We all think we're super busy, but when we actually break it down, we might have a lot of downtime that we're just not making use of, okay? We feel like we have no time, but we spend 2-3 hours in the evenings just chilling, watching Netflix, chilling out, you know, doing random things that don't need to be done in that particular moment. But in all reality, yes, downtime is super important, and go and enjoy and watch your Netflix show every evening, but do that for an hour. You still have 2 hours in between that to take care of everything else that you need to do. And the way I want you to approach it when it comes to your workouts, when it comes to meal prepping or anything else, the same way that you show up to work and you're organized and you know what you have to do, everything's laid out, A, B, C and D, you have everything laid out, you have a to-do list that you tick off. Treat your health and fitness journey the same way. Schedule your workouts into your calendar like you would anything else. If you had a nail appointment, you would put it into your calendar for that 2 hour block, right? And the thing is, if you put that in for a Tuesday at 10 a.m, you will be at that nail salon on a Tuesday at 10 a.m, right? Because that time's been blocked out, and that time's the time to get your nails done. Treat the gym, treat your workouts the exact same way. Put them into your calendar and treat that like an appointment with yourself, because the truth is the gym is an appointment with yourself. It is a date with yourself. It is an opportunity for you to feel better, feel more confident, and to level up, okay? It's also an opportunity for you to keep the promises that you're making to yourself, which is so important. So treat the gym, treat your meal prep, anything like that like an appointment. Same way you wouldn't miss a nail appointment, don't miss the gym, okay? If it's in your calendar, you have no excuse that you don't have time to get it done, because you have it scheduled in, and you know that that hour block is for the gym or for your workout, and everything else surrounding that you are still going to get done because you have that time management in place. This is so important, and this is where most women tend to go wrong, and they're like, oh, I'm too busy, I just don't have time. Have a proper look at your calendar on a week-to-week basis and see how many hours are you actually wasting, or how many gaps do you have in there that you just don't see the point in doing a workout or whatever because it doesn't feel like enough time or it's a big commitment. Have a look at that, break it down, and be realistic. It might only be 30 minutes of a workout that you're able to do, but that 30 minutes is going to take you so much further over the next 8 weeks than you doing absolutely nothing at all, you know? So you have the opportunity, the choice is yours to make, whether you want to show up for yourself, even when you maybe don't feel like it, and you just make that promise and make that appointment with yourself and feel better in 8 weeks, or you choose to do nothing about it and tell yourself you're too busy and stay in the exact same position that you're in at the minute, and nothing changes, and you essentially end up in an even worse position moving forward. And the fourth thing that I would do if I was a busy woman that wanted to drop body fat for summer is stop putting it off. Summer is literally about 40 days away now, okay? If even that, going into June. You do not have any more time to waste. And if you are somebody that doesn't want to feel the same way you felt last year, and if you don't want to feel self-conscious on holiday or cover up or not buy outfits that you actually want to wear, stop putting it off. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop telling yourself that there's just no point in doing it because you can't give it 100%. If you only have 30 or 40% to give that day, and you show up and give that 40%, you have technically gave 100% out of everything that you have for that particular day, okay? And what that means for you is essentially, like I said, it doesn't have to be 6 workouts a week. It doesn't have to be extremes. You do not have to hit 10,000 steps every day. You don't have to do any of these things. All you need to do is start showing up. That's the only thing that you need to do, is start doing a little bit more than you previously were doing. If you can only manage 2 or 3 workouts a week, that's still going to be 8 to 12 workouts more than you would have ever done at the end of this month, okay? So you're already so much further from that perspective. If you push your steps up from 3,000 to 5,000 every single day, that's already 2,000 extra steps on a daily basis that you're doing compared to what you were doing. You will see results by doing this, but stop putting it off. Stop telling yourself you're too busy. Stop telling yourself you don't have time to do anything, because we always have time to incorporate something, okay? And worst case scenario, you don't have the time for the workouts and you can't fit all of that in. You have full control over the choices you make when it comes to your nutrition. You have full control of what you put in your mouth and what you choose to eat, okay? And I can guarantee you, making sure you're tracking your calories, planning in advance, maybe meal prepping once or twice a week to set yourself up for success going into the rest of the week, you will drop body fat. It's inevitable, because that side of things comes down mainly to nutrition. The exercise is just a byproduct of it. And the fifth thing that I would do if I was busy and wanted to drop body fat is meal prep. I don't suggest meal prep for everybody. I know some people don't enjoy it. I know for some people it doesn't work, or they don't like eating meals later on into the week that they've made at the start of the week. But if you're somebody that's genuinely busy, and if you don't have the time to cook for yourself 3-4 times a day, every single day, meal prep your meals. Set 2 days, Sunday and a Wednesday, to meal prep. Take an hour out of those evenings to actually spend that time to cook. And the thing is, yes, it's a little bit of a headache when it comes to that day, okay? And you will be thinking about it from that perspective and not knowing whether you're bothered, if you're not bothered, you know, thinking about all these things you have to do. But your future self will thank you for it, okay? Your future self will thank you for showing up on that Sunday and meal prepping, because the next 3 days you don't have to cook a single dinner. The next 3 days you have all your lunches scheduled for work. The next 3 days, when you're getting up in the mornings and you're rushing out the door, you grab your overnight oats and you have your breakfast ready, so you're not grabbing something from the shop that's actually going to end up throwing you off track. Your future self will thank you for these things, okay? And it doesn't have to be complicated. You know, you can just cook some rice, some pasta and some potato as your carb sources, and chicken and mince as your meat sources, okay? And you can make so many things with that. You can make chicken cheesy pasta, you can make chicken curries with the rice, you can make chicken tikka masalas, you can make spaghetti bolognese. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Just batch cook those things and throw everything together when it comes to your meal, and that's it, ready to go. Yes, it'll take that hour out of your Sunday night, but it'll save you 5 to 6 hours over the next couple of days where you feel like you don't have that time to cook. I truly hope this helps get so many of you kick-started and just feeling more confident and better and building that routine going into summer. But if you feel like you need that structure, you need that accountability, and you need that support to help get you there, of course, this is what I do. So girls, don't be afraid to message me on Instagram, or I'll drop my coaching links below where you can inquire through the coaching link as well, and reach out and we can draw out your roadmap, have a look at your schedule, you know, and how busy you are, and sort of like dictate what's going to be realistic for you and what's not going to be realistic, to make sure that you are going into your health and fitness with the most realistic standards in place and with the most suitable plan for yourself that suits you, your lifestyle, your family life, your career and everything else involved, because otherwise it's not going to be sustainable, right? But you do not have to put it off any further, no matter how busy you are, and I can promise you that, okay? There's always something that you can do. There's always something that you can fit into your schedule and not fall off track, and actually make it sustainable for yourself without feeling like an extra job on top of your full-time job. So if you need that support, my coaching links will be below. But if you enjoyed this video and you took something away from it, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, of course, as there's plenty more to come, and I will catch up with you all next week. Bye.